1. Describe a friend's home you visited but you don't want to live there. I had a friend in university called Roy. He was a nice, pleasant, and intelligent man, actually. A bit older than me. He lived in a flat not far from campus. I used to visit him often because we shared similar interests in books, music, and sports. He also helped me a lot with my studies, as he was really smart and enjoyed helping others. But his home was so messy and dirty. It was really unbelievable how messy and dirty it was. He knew it too, and admitted it, and said he just couldn't organize himself and hated cleaning. I must say, with loads of books, ornaments and old paintings and wall hangings and other things, I did enjoy my visits to Roy's house. Just that it was so unclean and dusty, I was always sneezing when I was there. He also had 2 cats. A certain breed of cat that always leaves a lot of hair on the chairs and carpet. They were constantly molting. He didn't seem to care, but I think this might have been the reason I was sneezing a lot. A sort of allergy to cat fur, maybe. Anyway, I liked the design of the flat. It had high ceilings, wooden floors, a huge balcony with plants on it, and a very spacious and functional kitchen, except he never did any washing up, so it was impossible to cook in it. So, all in all, you can see why I didn't want to live there and would never live in an apartment like that with someone who is so messy. 2. Describe a part of a city or town that you enjoy visiting. Or 3. Describe a quiet place you like to spend time in. The place I am going to tell you is a small library that has just been constructed, funded by the government. It is located in a huge park next to my community, about 15 minutes walk away. But I rarely took a walk in it. I actually knew this place from an article posted by my neighbors on social media. It not only gave an explicit introduction to the facilities the library was equipped with, but also involved a large number of pictures about what it looked like. From the article, I know that the library is in the center of the park. Even from the pictures, you can tell the environment around is wonderful. Various trees and flowers embrace the building and an artificial lake lies in front of it. Moreover, since it is isolated from the road by plants, it is also very quiet. The library does not occupy a huge area, only 40 to 50 square meters. Unlike the normal buildings, which are made of concrete and steel, most of the library is made of glass. And to avoid the sunshine turning it into a warm house, it has been equipped with thick curtains. In it, 5 bookshelves are arranged in the center and about 12 tables are laid against the walls. I enjoyed visiting it because I felt it would be a quiet place to read and write. Although there is a study room in my home, the distractions are just too many. I cannot resist the temptation of video games, TV programs, and computers. By contrast, in the library, surrounded by people craving for knowledge, I am forced to concentrate on study. 4. Describe a tall building you like or dislike. A tall building in my city that I like is a skyscraper located in the center of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, designed by a famous French architect. It is like most modern buildings, made of glass and metal. But interestingly, it reflects national identities in its design. Architects drew inspiration for this skyscraper from the national symbolic flower, which is lotus. It is a strong, beautiful flower that grows in the mud. The lotus is the most beautiful flower, with petals opening one by one. But it will only grow in the mud, just like the obstacles of life. This is not only an aesthetic choice, on the 52nd floor with the shape of blossoming lotus bud. There is a helipad. So, I like it because it combines the best of functional design and aesthetic beauty. Besides, the interior is really interesting too, with sweeping curves and perfect lighting. Although it is called a financial tower, it has a lot of shops, restaurants and malls on the lower floors. Somehow, even when it gets busy, it's a really nice relaxing space. And you feel comfortable there. Particularly, there is a really nice coffee shop in the lobby with some modern art pieces on the walls. A lot of people go there to work in their break times. As it has a warm and cozy environment, comfy sofas, PowerPoints for laptops and great service. So, I can see that the owners have made a lot of efforts with the design of the building as well as with the businesses and commercial outlets inside the building. I like this building not only because of its multifunctional design but also because of its cultural implication. 5. Describe a town or a city where you like to live in the future. I have a myriad of favorite places on my list. However, if I get the opportunity to choose one city, I would probably pick London, which is one of the most prominent capitals around the globe. I like to live in this city not only because of its unique cultures but also because of potential career development. There are many interesting facts about London that I want to witness in real life. Particularly, ever since I was a kid, I had always been amazed by the gorgeous and unique architecture of London. For example, beautiful landmarks like Big Ben Tower, Buckingham Palace, all present the age-old architecture of London. Lots of tourists enjoy visiting Buckingham Palace, which is extremely appealing, since it is the home to the Queen of England. Watching the changing of the guard ceremony that takes place in front of the palace's gate is certainly one-of-a-kind experience. Besides, the afternoon tea culture is another tempting factor. It is traditionally a selection of light sandwiches, cakes and scones served with a pot of tea. Attending afternoon tea, people can gain not only health benefits such as keeping yourself hydrated, preventing some ailments, but also learn some professional etiquettes. For example, the first rule people have to pay attention to is dress code. Most places are now smart casual, meaning strictly no sportswear allowed. And there is an art to preparing afternoon tea. When stirring your tea, ensure not to clink against the side of the cup. Always take your spoon out and place it on your saucer before sipping. And dunking biscuits into your tea is totally unacceptable. Furthermore, another inducement is job opportunities. London is one of the major financial centers in the world. Most global companies and international organizations are located there. Therefore, this city offers a wide range of promising jobs to job seekers. 6. Describe a city you have been to and would like to visit again. The most captivating city that I've been to is Hoi An in central Vietnam. Actually, it is a little ancient town located just a half-hour drive south of Da Nang, the gate to the region. I had heard a plethora of favorable reviews of Hoi An, but I had no idea how much I would love it here. This UNESCO World Heritage Site has something for everyone. Interesting history, unique architecture, amazing food and picturesque landscape. Long ago, Hoi An used to be a major international trading port in Asia, and that's why the old town has a fusion of Asian architectural styles. I felt like going back in time while strolling around its atmospheric streets filled with charming historical buildings. The most iconic structure is the unique Japanese pagoda bridge, which is considered the symbol of the land. Hoi An looks particularly amazing when the sun sets and streets are lighted up with endless rows of candle-lit lanterns, turning the old town into a magic world. I loved sitting at a riverfront cafe savoring local signature dishes and having a smoothie every evening. Hoi An is also a popular destination for clothes shopping with hundreds of tailor shops. I didn't buy much, but I really enjoyed window shopping here. Additionally, there is a myriad of other attractions around the main town. I rented a bicycle and rode to surrounding villages and the local beach, which truly took my breath away. It was fascinating to see luxuriant gardens, rice paddies, and buffaloes after I have lived in cities for so long. Life here seems very relaxed with no hustle and bustle. All in all, Hoi An is far better than I expected, and the town is definitely worth returning to over and over again. 6. Describe a city you have been to and would like to visit again. Well, the city I have been to and would like to visit again is Phan Thiet, a coastal city located in the central area of Vietnam and is also the capital city of Phan Thiet province. I first got to know this place from an intimate friend of mine during the first year of my college. At that time, my friend and I were both studying in Ho Chi Minh City, very far from Phan Thiet. So, he suggested that we could go traveling there during the National Day holiday, and we booked the cheapest train tickets to get there because we wanted to make the most of our little budget. Honestly, I knew nothing about that city at the very beginning. It was the trip that really gave me a lively course of the local culture and the cuisine there. We went to the Chua Ong, which was the most famous religious temple in Phan Thiet, and also the Lotus Pond, which was supposed to be the most beautiful lake in Phan Thiet. If you were planning to go there, Lotus Pond would be a must-see scenic spot to go. You know, it had such a breathtaking natural scenery that I really wanted to spend more time to appreciate. To my experience, people in Phan Thiet are super nice and hospitable, and you can expect a special culture influenced by the local religious belief there, which I think is probably one of main reason why it's an interesting city. I really hope I could have a chance to visit there again with my friends in the future. 6. Describe a city you have been to and would like to visit again. Sydney is undoubtedly my favorite city among the cities I have visited so far. Sydney is the state capital of New South Wales of Australia. This city is situated on the bank of the Tasman Sea and has around 4.6 million people. I have visited this city in 2008 after I finished my graduation and loved my stay there. Sydney had many attractive natural areas, botanic gardens, parks, and high-rising buildings. This city has many heritage-listed buildings that attract tourists and visitors. The Sydney Opera House is one of the most recognized landmarks in Australia and is a great place to visit. This city is known for the dynamic cultural hub, and it has many famous museums, galleries, and art galleries as well. Because of the great architecture, warm weather, and hundreds of tourists attraction, more than 11 million international and domestic tourists visit this city each year. I had been there for about 15 days and I really enjoyed everything about this city. I stayed at a 20-storied hotel that offered a really amusing view. The transportation system of the city is better than many other cities, and I could have been maintaining the track and time of my schedule because of that. I loved being at open and wide spaces in the gardens and parks. People are welcoming and friendly there. A tourist can get necessary help both from people and the authority and can roam easily without any interruption. I saw 2/3 art museum and some cultural festivals, and those were awesome. There are so many places to be, so many things to do in Sydney. Some of the attractive places are Royal Botanic Garden, Hyde Park, Queen Victoria Building, Sydney Town Hall, Macquarie Lighthouse, Australia Square, Sydney Opera House, and so on. I had a tremendous vacation in Sydney and I liked most of the places there, and I enjoyed so much that I did not even notice how quickly the 2 weeks scheduled time has passed. 7. Describe an art exhibition you have visited. I am going to tell you about an art exhibition that I visited last summer. That year was the 300th birthday of the imperial city located in Hue Province, in central region of Vietnam. To celebrate this big event, the administration decided to hold a series of exhibitions and display a large number of precious artworks that had been kept in the storage. Among them, there was one exhibition called Paintings About the Everyday Life of Ancient People, which interested me most. As a person who is pretty keen on traditional arts and local customs, I realized this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to appreciate so many masterpieces at one time. So regardless of the threat of COVID-19, I went to Hue. I bought a flight ticket and had a wonderful visit in the palace. The exhibition consisted of dozens of paintings which were arranged according to their chronological order. They depicted different aspects of normal citizens' life hundreds or even thousands of years ago. And in the center of the main hall, it was displaying a huge oil painting. The scroll was 25.5 centimeters in height and 5.25 meters long, and it captured the daily life of people in the landscape of the capital during the Nguyen dynasty. Although I had seen many of those paintings in my textbook and on the internet before, I was still amazed by their elegant strokes, perfect colors. A part of the exhibition is to raise money for needy cancer patients and for orphans. I bought a few postcards to help the community. So for me, it was worth visiting the exhibition. I will keep visiting such exhibitions in the future. 8. Describe a part of a city or town that you enjoy visiting. The part of the city I like visiting is the Chinatown in District 10. The reason I like that area is because it's very different from the rest of the city and has a distinct personality. To be more precise, because I've always loved history and old things. I think they reflect the charm of the history and culture of a country. I am not so impressed with modern central business districts or skyscrapers or modern architecture of glass and metal. The last time I visited the Chinatown was only a week or two ago. I often go there on the weekends, and there are lots of cafes and tea houses that you can hang out in. It's a pleasant part of the city to walk around, especially around the old temple area and those neighboring streets. There is also plenty of shade from the trees there. So it's a good area to walk around in the heat of summer, dip into the little craft shops there, sit and relax in a cafe with a friend and chat, and even cycle if you're in the mood for more exercise. I usually go with two close friends of mine who live fairly near to where I live. Sometimes, we even go there at night because there are some interesting and quirky bars in that area. And you almost always meet fun people from all over the city and the world. You can have quite fascinating conversations with them. So, this is one of my favorite areas of the city that I go to fairly frequently in my free time. 9. Describe a foreign country, culture, you want to know more about. I have always wanted to learn about foreign cultures. I like meeting people from different places and learning about how we are similar and how we are different. However, there is one culture I have always had a little more fascination with than any other. It is the Japanese culture. The main reason is that I like watching a lot of Japanese movies. Also, in my childhood, I used to read a lot of Japanese manga, which are Japanese graphic novels, and anime, which are Japanese cartoons. Even now, I sometimes play some anime series on YouTube or Netflix. I have found that Japan is different from all others in some ways. For example, during the 2011 tsunami, there was no looting, no violence. This doesn't happen even in countries like the US. I remember when I read it, I found it very strange. Recently, I read that the reason for it is that morals and ethics are a major part of their curriculum from primary schools onwards. So perhaps that is one reason why. Another thing I read in manga was that there are no maids in schools. Japanese children clean their schools on rotation. There are these small things, which make me curious to learn about them. One more thing that comes to mind is that they have different shoes for wearing inside the house and outside to prevent the spread of germs. Another incident that really raised my admiration was when they refused to sell India nuclear technology because they themselves are not using it anymore. They have certain beliefs and they practice such beliefs. They are not just plain words. Lastly, we also certainly share certain things. For example, Buddhism, a religion that originated in India as a major religion there. I also know that most of my knowledge about Japan is partial. It is from manga, anime, and the little bit of news, so if I get the opportunity, I would definitely like to learn about Japan and its people. 9. Describe a foreign country, culture, you want to know more about. I'd like to learn more about Mexico. I've been watching a TV series set in Mexico recently, and I'm really drawn to the way they speak, their sense of humor, and the amazing countryside of the country. I'd like to go in September because I don't think it would be crowded with tourists. It's a country in South America, so I know about it mainly from that TV series. I've also been to a few Mexican restaurants in Ho Chi Minh City. I really enjoy the foods there. So, I'm quite drawn to the cuisine and I'm impressed with their traditional designs. Unfortunately, I've also heard that it's quite a dangerous country, with a lot of drug problems, violent gangs and crimes. So I guess certain areas of the country are not very safe for traveling, but I am sure there are areas that are fairly safe. Because I've seen quite a few holidays and travel programs about the country. I'd like to go to Mexico one day, and they speak Spanish, which is a language I am really keen on. So I would like to go there and perhaps study Spanish for a year or two and maybe even find a job. With some connection between Mexico and Vietnam, I believe there might be increasingly close trade ties between the countries. And this could mean that there are jobs that need Spanish-speaking foreign businessmen to help establish and maintain such relationships. So, there are a number of reasons that make me think that Mexico is an interesting country I would like to learn more about.